What's up, guys? Palutena's Army episode 6 this time. What's up, Vain?
Not too much, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah, how are you? What was that? What happened? You called on me like the last hour before.
Yeah, I felt like such a douchebag for doing that. But basically what it was is I have really bad allergies, and then I caught a really nasty cold. So combining the two just led for me being knocked out for a day. So
You cutting down your own podcast. Congratulations.
Oh.
I got two guests with me. One is my friend Jeff, otherwise known as ReviewGuru on Twitter or ReviewGuru channel on YouTube. What's up?
Hey, not much.
And then I got another developer on here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, I'm Julian from RedCandy Games. I'm CEO and founder, and we're going to be releasing TIC Part 1 very soon, so definitely check it out.
All right, cool. Quick note, you might want to just speak up a little bit louder next time.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so we've got a little bit on the agenda. Since last podcast was basically me and Harry going back and forth about the next generation of consoles, we've got a little bit. Dynasty Warriors 7 review. Give us a quick lowdown, because we talked about that before.
Dynasty Warriors 7, it's a little bit more of the same, but at the same time, they really worked on trying to incorporate a whole new world with the Conquest mode, so I give them a lot of props for that. But pretty much you play a Dynasty Warriors game, you played them all. It's intense action, very fun. Gets extremely repetitive, though, if you're not already into hack and slash. All in all, a good game, though.
All right, and another review you got. Let's put we talked about this for I don't know how many podcasts already. Portal 2.
Portal 2. Again, I will say it right now. It's a great game. It just lacks any real replay value. It lacks any real.
Okay, so.
And it's just it bores the fuck out of me.
Wait. So I hate to always get an argument on this, but so you and Sam are the only people I ever hear that say it lacks replay value. Jeff, I know you argue against this, don't you?
Yeah, I really think that Portal has just as much replay value as Portal 2. I mean, it has just as much replay value as the first one.
It's because of the dialogue, though, isn't it, primarily?
A lot of the dialogue, the puzzles are really fun to go through. Again, I can really see going through that. There's a ton of hidden chambers that maybe you don't go through the first time and see them. You can go see them again, just a bunch of little Easter eggs, hidden dialogue pieces, maybe extra achievements for trophies, depending on which concert you're on. I really think that there's just a lot more to go back to than maybe some other games out there, like Homefront, for example. There's not really much to go back to in that game, but
now, to some degree, I will agree with you. You know, if you miss certain things on your first playthrough, like the Easter eggs or the trophies or whatnot, then yeah, I can see going back and playing it. But really, it doesn't make a difference. You know, there's no real change to it. And again, the whole resolving the puzzles, that's extremely dependent on the kind of gamer. Like me, I, for most part, cannot replay puzzle games because I already know the answer. So it's like just going through for monotony's sake.
All right.
Yeah, I think it just depends on whether you really do like to replay the puzzles. I really don't think you can really classify the game as replayable or not replayable. It just really matters on the person whether you feel like you should play it again or not.
Indeed. Julian, have you tried Portal yet?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Which I thought was pretty interesting, but I was disappointed with how short it was. I'd really like to see some more expansion upon that. Definitely on the DLC in the future.
And
yeah, but it's sad that we gotta wait for DLC just for more content.
Right. Which I don't really approve of that model. I think that's kind of gimmicky.
Do you want to go in on that?
What's that?
What makes it so gimmicky to you?
Well, just the fact that I understand it as a from a business perspective, trying to kind of extend the longevity of your IP. But I think gamers really want a full experience up front. And to kind of force them to kind of tease them like that, it's just not fair, you know.
I fully agree with that. I feel like Valve gets a little pass on it just because they announced that as being free too.
Right.
So it's not the worst deal, but a lot of other games. I know Bulletstorm was a thing like that where they announced day one DLC on that. It was.
Yeah, and didn't they release a ton of content on Steam the same day they released Portal?
I'm not sure on that, but
I thought that.
maybe. But I think Vain and Jeff here are both consoles on that.
Yeah. I have a PC version, but that's only because I got the PS3 version. So.
Yeah, same here.
All right. We'll go on a tangent really quick. We've talked about this pretty much before, but how's PSN treating you?
Fuck you.
You said you wanted to talk about it really quick?
Yeah. Basically, Sony's kind of. There's a lot of rumors going around that it may actually be up soon. Apparently, a lot of developers have been able to actually get on and sort of play around with it more. There's a lot of control groups that they're doing for bringing it back, and they're really putting it through the test, trying to get it out the door. And as it gets closer and closer to actually being released, Sony's making sure that its customers know that they are being taken care of and they are sorry for being complete fuck-ups and dumbasses. So they're offering quite a lot to people for when the service comes back online. And not just for PS3 owners, but for all Sony product users.
Oh, cool. So I get something on my PSP?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I have a small list of stuff that I managed to just kind of track down and find. Free PSN Plus for a month. Free Kidacity or whatever it's called for a month. That's their little music
Is it
service.
Kitrocity?
Yeah, Kitrocity, whatever. What else there? That just made me lose my
There was a few titles I think that were rumored around, but I think we don't have that much on it yet.
They rumored that each region would get a free game as well. However, it'll be region dependent, obviously. Then they also announced for all of their online titles, everything that they'll be giving to their players. Like for DC Universe Online, Batman and Two-Face masks will be handed out to players.
They better pay back for that month. Are they refunding that month? Have they said that yet?
They have not made any official statement regarding that.
Because that would be my concern.
That would be pretty bad if they don't.
What else have they... I think that was pretty much all they've said, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I still got a whole list of more items they're giving away.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when the actual program
comes. Yeah.
All right. And did you have anything else you had posted up?
I don't think so, no.
All right. Let's see. What did I have?
Oh, The Legend of Legaia Retro Review, but that's really not a big deal.
Quick word on it?
It's a lost gem of a PlayStation 1 game, really fun for RPG and fighting game fans, but it's really suffers from Japanese RPG syndrome, where if you can't really get into sort of the hamminess of the story, it's kind of lost on you.
Yes. All right. And then I put up, I talked about this before, Clash of Heroes HD, the Might and Magic game. It was a port from the DS to the XBLA. It's a lot of fun. If you like adventure puzzle games, definitely buy it. I've sunk about 30 hours into it. I still have a lot to do if I really want to go back into it. Let's see. I put up a quick review of Game Dev Story, which if you have an iPhone or an Android, it's definitely the game you should be buying. It's a lot of fun. It's super addictive. It's like $4. Definitely something you should check out. I've been replaying that again, so I decided to put up a review on it. And I figure I wanted to talk about Gears of War 3 with Jeff for a little bit. So we both played it. We both had it on preview week. What do you think of it as a whole?
I really think that this is This is a really broad statement, but I do think that this is probably the best Gears of War that's ever been released. I've had probably the most fun with it out of any Gears of War, and I'm one of the guys who played Gears of War 1 to death and played Gears of War 2 a lot. And this is definitely the most refined, most balanced, just best all-around Gears of War game to ever be released. I cannot wait until release date.
I can agree with that. Gears of War 2 I enjoyed with friends, but when you play that like as a matchmaking game just in general, like you would like Call of Duty or something, it's not that great. Was there anything in particular you wanted fixed in Gears of War 3?
Just some of the map balancing. Like, one of my biggest issues is with the map trenches. I overall I really don't like that map. It is way, way, way too easy to spawn trap another team. Just, the spawns are way too far back. There's only one way to get out of spawns. I really think that there should be, just like every single other map, there's like multiple ways to get out of spawn. In trenches, there's only one way to get out of spawn. That's just going straight, and all that the enemy team has to do is camp there with like a mortar, or in this case now a hammer done, and the team will never be able to get out of spawn. And it just brings me back to what's wrong with a lot of like Call of Duty maps, where it's really easy to spawn trap somebody in the Call of Duty map. And so what I may be thinking is, in like the grenades area, putting another staircase to go up into the middle, which gives one of the teams who's being trapped another way to get out, so then they're not forced into that spawn trap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think the spawning in there needs to be fixed in general, because there have been times where there's been a fight out of spawn, and I mean, like, the other team will just pop up right behind you or stuff like that. I feel like they focus too much on certain spawn points where they can probably just open up and let it be wherever.
Yeah, they do definitely need to fix that. And then, unlike a lot of people say on like the Gears of War 3 beta forums, I really don't think the sawed-off is overpowered at all. I think that it is just right, and that people are just really overreacting to how powerful the sawed-off is.
I like it. Yeah, I like it because if it gives you a fighting stance if you're 1-on-3. If they're gonna run into you like carelessly, you should be able to have an advantage on that.
Yeah, and the sawed-off's range doesn't extend really past maybe at the most a few feet, but if you're that close as well to them, a Gnasher will kill them in one hit at the same distance, and so you still do have a fighting advantage since you're getting that close, and plus, you have 3 rifles that you can shoot at them from far away, and so you have more of a fighting chance against the sawed-off than any other gun. I'd even say it's a little weaker than the Gnasher, which is a very unpopular opinion.
It definitely has no like range whatsoever. You have to get up close if you want the kill. Whereas an Gnasher, you can shoot from afar and get your kill still.
Yeah, the only gun where I really think that they might need to nerf it just a tiny bit is really the Retro Lancer, since it can defeat any shotgun up close, which, I don't know, I'd imagine a rifle just be better at long range rather than close range, because it's a little bit overpowered at close range, but not too badly.
I would be fine if that was how it was shipped. I just think the Gnasher either the range needs to be lowered or the power in general.
Yeah, with the Gnasher, it's kind of strange, because I see a lot of people trying to say that the Gnasher is really underpowered, which I not see that at all.
No, I mean, when you go into the game at a really low level, you'll see a bunch of people messing around with the new weapons. You'll think, hey, this is a brand new game now. But when you start to get up to the higher level, you see people playing it like Gears 2, and it's basically Gnasher battles everywhere. And you start to see, like, okay, we should nerf this a little bit and fix that.
Yeah, the more and more I play the game, the less and less I see people using the sawed-off and more people using the Gnasher. Like, when we were first starting the game, I saw everybody, except for myself, of course, using the sawed-off, and, well, I've only used the sawed-off, like, a handful of times, but then when we get into, like, maybe last week or even this week, I barely see people use the sawed-off, and it's just everyone using Gnashers.
Yeah, like, even, I like the sawed-off, and that was my main weapon. My main combo was the Retro Lancer and Sawed Off for a while, but I mean, ever since I got to the higher level, I've been trying to stick to Lancer, Hammerburst, and a Nasher because it's ridiculous.
I still stick with a Retro Lancer by using Nasher. I've always used a Nasher ever since Gears 1. That's my favorite gun of all time. Yeah,
it's still good. And I think they need to fix up the wall bouncing a little bit.
I can handle wall bouncers.
No, because I had a lot of problems with it. I just feel like there should be a magnetism to the if you go into cover, I feel like you should be stuck in cover for at least half a second before you can leave it. I think that would fix it because there would be no point in that.
I don't see wall bouncing as too bad of a problem, but that would definitely help it out a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're using cover the right way, that shouldn't be a problem to you. The only if you think about it, the only problem would be if you would hop over if you hop over cover. But I feel like they should find a workaround for wall bouncing. That's been such a problem in Gears that I would love to see that just gone in this one.
What I am glad about is that there's no two-piecing. That's a huge thing that completely discouraged me from playing Gears of War 2. It's just all the people just two-piecing all the time.
Yeah, now melees have turned down to it's not more. You would not use a melee as a starting attack. You would use it as an attack to knock them down.
I think somebody from full health, if you melee them, it takes 3 melees to down them now. I think.
Yeah, it's 3 melees, and I generally use melee now only if I knock a guy down and I have a Nasher and I can't get a shot off him. I melee him and he's down.
Yeah, but if you're that close them that you can hit them, you just might as well pull out your shotgun and kill them in one shot. It's just easier.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like I'm not 100% at Nasher level still, so I still can stick to my melee whenever I need to. But I'm getting up there.
I can probably count on my hands the times I've meleeed in Gears 3. I've just found no need to do it.
Yeah, melee's pretty much a thing of the past right now. Grenade-wise, I think we're okay. I think the only problem with the grenades I need is there needs to be 2 ink grenades when you do have grenades. Cause I feel like that.
I think the ink grenades are fine at 1 because the stun radius for ink grenades is so humongous, and you get stunned for longer than smoke grenades, and you can't move when you're getting stunned, and so. It's a very cheap way. You throw an ink grenade anywhere around the person, they'll get stunned. You shoot them with any rifle, and they're just down. I think you should be able to move.
That's true, but I think that frag grenades are, in comparison, just so much more powerful, and those come into that.
But the grenades have just way too big of a blast radius.
But you got to remember also is that the grenades are like a power weapon on the map, though. So I mean, there should be some sort of you could get
need to be buffed a little bit though as well.
The incident, yeah, I think the frag grenades are really the candy. You run to them and you should get 2 kills if you know how to work them.
Yeah, and then with the incendiaries, really the only way to ensure a kill with them is if you directly hit them with it or you tag them with it. If you just throw it in the general area, they might get damaged a little bit, but nothing that would be too harmful.
Yeah, I've had occasions where I've thrown a grenade down and it's hit them, but the grenades I feel like all right. I've been using the Boltok and the Gorgon a lot more. Those things are brutal, man. I've been getting you could get a headshot kill with 2 shots of a Boltok. They don't have to be active.
It's annoying because people are just starting to notice that.
Yeah, I left them alone the whole beta, and I've just been picking them up now, and oh man, I regret that. Those things are magnificent.
Yeah, the first week of the beta, you could probably go to the Boltok spawns every single time on checkout, and you'd always find a Boltok because nobody went for it. then this last week, everybody's been going for the Boltok just because they found out, wow, this gun is amazing.
Yeah, either that or they had those last executions there. Since I have every execution now except for the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, I don't have the Boltok or Gorgon or Hammerburst, actually, for that matter. I've only gotten 11 kills total with the Hammerburst.
You would be fine with the if you get the Gorgon or the Boltok, you'll be fine. You'll get them in no time.
Yeah.
All right, and
I don't like, and this is just the Gears of War 1 part of me speaking out, is I hate the sniper rifle in this game. I just don't like how it works.
I like it better because it gives you more of a fighting chance if you're close to someone. But I've never felt like the sniper in Gears was as fluid as the one in, say, Halo or something.
I think the Gears of War 1 sniper is probably my favorite sniper of any video game I've played, just because it is the most satisfying thing when you headshot somebody in any Gears game, for that matter, just hearing the squish of the head exploding. But this one, I don't like the spread when you're moving around or when you're scoped in. It's just...
I prefer that, actually. Like, it for whatever reason, the spread makes me feel a little bit better about it.
It makes me feel a little uneasy about my shot since I can't guarantee a headshot.
Yeah. I don't know, though. I think the wall... There needs to be maybe a mechanic as to how you perform the wall kicks needs to be needs to be in there, but I think for the most part that's fine too. I don't know, for the most part, like besides trenches, a few guns, and maybe Old Town just not being my map, I feel like the beta was perfect.
Yeah, me and Adrian made this point very early on, like in the preview beta, where it was only team deathmatch and trenches. No, not trenches.
It was Thrash Ball.
And we're like, we have two maps in one mode, and we're having more fun than any other retail game that's out right now.
Yeah.
This game must be awesome.
The game's really fast paced and keeps you moving forward, and I feel like that's definitely a plus. The Gears is a lot better as a fast paced game.
Yeah, September is gonna be very far away from me. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and I made this point before, is that at PAX, when I played Beast Mode, it felt like the same game to me, maybe because I just hadn't played Gears as heavily as I did this last, maybe a couple months. But the beta feels a lot more loose. I feel like you can move around a lot easier. You can zoom around a lot quicker. It just feels a lot faster paced, and that's definitely a plus to go with it.
And for the first time ever, the regular Lancer is actually useful.
Again, I think you need to go back to Gears 2, because if you have a team full of Lancers, there's no way you can win.
Well, yeah, team full of Lancers, but I'm basically speaking about Gears of War 1, where...
Oh, yeah, Gears of War 1. The only reason you would use Lancer in Gears of War 1 was the
if you couldn't find a sniper rifle, that's really it.
Yeah. Alright, so I think that was a good little talk about it. Sorry for keeping you two on quiet here.
It's all good.
Really quick, I guess, I'll point this out before we get to the other half of the podcast. Is anyone excited for Modern Warfare 3?
No.
Me.
Julian, do you play Call of Duty?
Not so much, man.
Yeah, I guess you're alone on this group.
Oh.
I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I could care less. I'm wondering if this is going to be the peak of it, though. We should have.
It's understanding how people don't like Call of Duty. It's perfectly understandable. It's not really a game for everyone, but I have fun just screwing around. It's a game that I can play without thinking, and so I find it good for just relaxing and just killing time.
Yeah, I think we'll have a podcast. Vain, you think we should have a podcast talking about it? I guess because I really don't know what the future of Call of Duty is right now.
I don't think anyone really does.
Because some would argue that it's the Madden of video games where it'll just keep on selling regardless, but I feel like it's not going to be like that.
Honestly, we should have a conversation like that.
Because that's what Harry suggested to me. Harry suggested...
I could counter you on that. I think it is the new Madden where it will sell no matter what. There are people. If you visit Machinima enough, you'll see that there are people who will buy Call of Duty just because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, see, we'll get this going because Harry, that was originally supposed to be the podcast topic last week. Harry brought that up, but we just changed it to the consoles because of the upcoming E3. We'll talk about that though for sure. Okay. All right, so let's get to this. Julian, you have a game coming out here.
I do. TIC Part 1.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, TIC Part 1 for Xbox.
Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
No, we can't.
Okay.
All right, sorry, go ahead again.
Yeah, TIC Part 1 for Xbox Live Indie Games.
All right, and do you want to give us a basic premise of this game?
Sure, well, basically, you assume the role of a mining, wall drilling, cover crafting robot, and you have to go through this world and stop Evil Corp, which has come to the planet and is draining the planet of its resources. So in order to progress from level to level, you kind of have to disable their operations and defeat Evil Corp minions. The game, it's really it's a pretty fast-paced action-adventure platformer, similar to like Rayman or Mario. It's very easy to get into, intuitive, fun play mechanics. But actually, a piece of news that we're very happy about this past week, Microsoft has allowed developers now.
Okay, sorry for the hiccup there, guys. Just a couple audio technical difficulties. So, Julian, you were talking about the peer review system and how that throws out your game.
Right. So basically how this has changed from before is now you have a checkbox where you can select to submit your game for peer review, but also indicate that after it gets through peer review, you can set when you want to publish. So there's a publish now button after you've gotten your 12 passes, and you can hit that whenever you feel like it.
All right, and do you feel like this is going to be how heavily do you think it's going to be towards the success of your game? Are you going to throw out a lot of promotion there beforehand?
Absolutely. I mean, after we get through peer review, we can now sit on our game for a week after we know there are no bug issues, and we can heavily promote and just focus that time on telling people when to look for us on the marketplace, as opposed to marketing it as coming soon, which has never really been an effective tactic for us. So
yeah,
it'll definitely boost our sales, we think.
No doubt. The one thing I've heard about the game, like primarily, is that the art style. Do you want to explain how it looks?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am actually lead content provider for the game. I've provided all the background assets. And basically to achieve the kind of 3D, like 2.5D effect we have, we built our own engine. And it's one of the problems with XNA is it's such a limited library, unless you have Microsoft's Xbox Live Arcade Developers Kit, and you can't normally, as a small developer, you can't afford that without a license. So we took it upon ourselves to build our own engine, which really allows us to do a number of things. It's our own tool set, so we can have any unlimited number of depth layers. Similar, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Rayman series.
Yes.
So have you guys seen previews for, like, I think it's called Rayman Origins or something like that?
I've seen a few things on it.
Yeah, it's the latest in the Rayman series, and they have their own framework. It's called UbiArt Framework, and if you look at that, it has many different overlapping kind of layers of depth, and we've actually, I think we developed that before they did, and it's definitely a very similar effect. If you were to look at that preview and then look at TIC, you could see there are a lot of similarities between our art style and also kind of the aesthetic we're able to achieve through the engine.
So are you claiming that Ubisoft stole this from you?
They stole it. No. actually been in development before us, so there's no way they stole it from us, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So how are you trying to, like, do you have any actual opinion on the Xbox Live indies and, like, because we had a friend on here, Matthew, who's from Zona Games. He talked about the Xbox Live indie to an extent. Do you have an opinion on the thing as a whole? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's a really interesting market. I don't think it's really been kind of pioneered yet. I think there's you still see a lot of crap on there,
Yeah.
And
no doubt.
I see that as kind of an issue. I mean, it's a really great opportunity for independent developers to get on there without a publishing contract with Microsoft. Because if you want to get to arcade, you kind of need to go across some red tape, and you need to kind of open an account with Microsoft, which could be a really time-consuming process. And if they don't like your pitch, they don't like your idea, regardless of how promising you think it is, they're just, you're not going to be able to get it to that level. So indie, it's a great platform to kind of try new ideas without a ton of investment. And, it's, a group of two guys can get together and work on there. But really what we're trying to do on indie is we're trying to raise the bar a little bit because there's so much crap. We've really heavily invested in our engine, our tool set, and also our team. We have 11 members on our team, which for an indie game is pretty huge. And we've been in development for 8 months, and I think we're really going to push the bar on the production value that you see on indie, and hopefully change and make that landscape a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, not to make it mean to anyone else who like my indie developers, but there's not too many times that I find a very interesting looking indie game on the Xbox Live. But I mean, if anyone out there remembers, is that James Silva, the dishwasher was made for Xbox Live Indie.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm a good friend with James Silva. He lives in the area.
Oh, nice.
We've touched base. And one of his complaints with indie is he can't use his same tool set he uses to develop for Xbox Live Arcade. Like, if he's using, Microsoft's tool set to work on Vampire Smile 2, if he wants to make a game for Xbox Live Indie, he has to basically start from scratch.
Yeah, it's. We were talking post-podcast with Matt, and he talked about how complicated it was from the. It seems like an easy transition from Xbox Live Indie to Xbox Live Arcade, but it's actually a kind of more complicated process.
Yeah, it definitely is. From a technological standpoint, and then also the political with Microsoft.
Yeah. Have you guys been in talks with Microsoft at all about this game, though?
We're actually planning to enter the Dream Build Play competition, and that's really kind of where James Silva got his name, and his claim to fame is he won that competition. I think the first year Microsoft offered it.
Yes.
And but part of winning that competition, it comes with a contract, or at least the opportunity to pitch the contract, along with $40,000. So he had his investment right there, and then he had his opportunity to develop for indie. For arcade.
He has had some success on the Xbox Live. I Made a Game with Zombies is still the number one game on there, isn't it?
Absolutely. He's had tremendous success, and a lot of it has to do with the fact he's on arcade. He has his name. He's able to kind of take that fan base over to indie with him, and it's definitely helped him a lot. He puts out great games, no doubt about it. They're a lot of fun, and he's just got a style that's uniquely his own. So
yeah, he has a lot of skills that work around his game. He makes his own music. He does all that. He does a lot for his game. It's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. Yeah, if every step of the process he's involved in, which is pretty amazing. And we at RedCandy, we try to be a little bit more specialized in that. we have one person doing character art, one person doing background assets, one person working on tool set design. So, I mean, we try to be, I guess, a little bit more corporate in that sense.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been around for, actually?
So we formed the company around 8 months ago. And then we've been developing our tool set. It's been a split between developing the tool set and then developing TIC Part 1. It's been about 4 months spent on each.
All right.
So.
And quick tangent, since you're saying this. So Part 1, is this supposed to be an episodic type of game where we'll see more frequently, or is it more like we'll just see another part coming months later?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're trying to keep our development time to a minimum, and really kind of the way we designed our engine is so we can rapidly prototype and kind of do in-game editing. So hopefully we'll be able to kick each episode out within 3 to 4 months, not to keep gamers waiting.
Yeah.
But it is designed in that format, and we definitely push the barrier in terms of content we offer. We've almost maxed out our package size for the amount we're allowed to store on the Xbox servers.
Yeah. So are you guys? So TIC is your number one priority right now, right? Or do you guys have plans to move past it, or are you guys going to be moving on more parts of TIC afterwards?
Yeah, well, we've actually already started on development of Part 2 for TIC. But we do have some plans for other IPs we want to work on, and trying out some other ideas on indie. Like I said, it's just a great place to test cool ideas without a tremendous amount of investment. With TIC, we would actually like to bring it to arcade with features akin to like Little Big Planet. So you can do level editing, level creation, gameplay building, because our engine is so flexible.
Yeah, it's a very open game, so I'm interested to see what you guys got with it.
Yeah.
So, another quick tangent. How much is it going to be?
So basically, we can't offer it any less than 240 Microsoft points because of the amount of content we have packed onto the file.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 240 Microsoft points, which is $3. We think for the amount of content we're offering, the indie gamers will be willing to pay a premium, for that added content and the quality, higher quality of experience.
Yeah. See, if you were telling me this maybe a month or so ago, I would have on the back of my mind I probably would disagree. But I mean, Fortress Craft obviously just destroys that argument, because that thing is I think the highest grossing game on the indies.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I think it's important for people to compete not around just price, but also quality,
Yes, exactly. So have you guys experimented with anything else besides Xbox, or is it because of the adaptability that you guys have been sticking on the indies?
Yeah, I mean, we really like, we like console, We grew up playing console, so that's kind of, and the ability for us as indie developers to develop consoles is just really exciting. So we have really no plans to move from the Microsoft platform. And, after seeing what happened with PSN, we're very happy we're sticking with Microsoft.
Yeah, see, we were talking about PSN, and apparently it's a lot easier to get a contract on there because what I remember the process being told to me was that Microsoft has a set number of XBLA releases per year. Do you know any word on that?
I don't know anything about that, but it's definitely possible. I mean, they may have a quota of server space they can allocate to indie games, or arcade games, but
yeah, no, we were talking about this. And apparently, Vain, you were in the call. You were still in the call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking about something like it was Microsoft has a set number of publishers that they have set out for slots in the year. So you have to get your publisher to allocate you a slot, and there's a loophole around this if you have a dual publishing slot, but
right.
Apparently That's how come it's so hard on Xbox, because they have a set determined amount of how many games they're going to release. Apparently, PlayStation is different on that note, but yeah, with the whole PSN, that would be horrible to any developers. I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, there were probably, that's a double-edged sword. It seems like. I mean, by keeping the number of allocated slots low, you kind of limit the oversaturation of the market. Which is what
indie games kind of has right now.
I know, indie games, you go on there, there's so much, there's a lot of crap. There's so much crap. So it's like, how do you get through? It's like all the crap rises to the surface. How do you find the good stuff? And it's kind of hard. And, luckily, things like Kotaku, they have the Kotaku's list. I think stuff like really empowers gamers, helping them find what's good and kind of what's not.
Yeah. I'm going to make this a mandatory question whenever I have an indie guy on. Achievements. Do you think this is vital?
I think achievements are really important, but there's not much you can really do with indie and achievements. At least that's...
I've seen games, they've done like awardments, like they've had little spin-off achievements, but I feel like achievements as a whole makes all the 360 games meld together. Like that's what all 360 games have together, and it kind of feels like the indie games are the odd one out there.
Yeah, I think everyone would really benefit from having Microsoft open up that system to indie developers. I'm not sure why they don't, or what the reason behind that.
The main reason is I'm sure of it is that it would get abused by people.
Sure.
Because one, you got like massaged applications which will do that. I'm sure if they did open it, the first thing you're gonna see is free 100 points game, or like get 100 gamer score for $1 or something.
See, on the PlayStation, there, like literally everything that goes up that can be even remotely considered a game, they still make the developers put trophies in them. So, like, whatchamacallit there, there's this thing called Defunk, which is sort of basically just a music visualizer for the PlayStation. It has trophies. There was a very art-driven game. I can't remember the name of it right now. But again, it was just meant to be like sort of a visual tech demo.
Was it Detuned?
To it. Huh?
Are you talking Detuned?
No, Detuned, yeah, that was the name of the music game.
Yeah.
There. And then another one there. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I guarantee you it'll come to me after we're done talking about this. But yeah, it was basically just an art demo. That had trophies to it. So I can kind of see where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
Same time, if someone's willing to buy your thing just for trophies, or in this case, achievements, more power to them. Honestly, what does it really hurt?
Well,
really care are the achievement whores themselves.
No, well, the problem there is, at first sounding, it sounds like, you should be able to get away with that. But, that would also rise the popularity of a game like that to the top and shove down actual games that are actual games. Like, those would get shoved down to the bottom because, people would high rate the free gamer score or something like that.
No, that's a very valid point. In which case, Microsoft really should. I think we brought this up last time we were talking about this. But what Microsoft really should start doing is separating the actual games from more like applications. Yeah,
that's one step that we can probably be walking towards. I want to talk, Jeff. You don't really purchase XBLA games in general, but have you ever ventured into the indie market yet?
What have I played in the indie market? Usually it's either anything anyone tells me about, like any of the crap people tell me about, or Fortress Craft I've been really enjoying. Though I don't usually delve too far into the indie games market.
Is there a particular reason, or?
Don't really ever set aside the chance to. So it's not like I'm like completely uninterested. It's just I haven't gotten to it yet.
All right.
There's a few things I checked out back when I still had a gold account there. Like there was a ski dungeon. I don't know if you guys checked that out.
I don't believe I've seen that.
It was literally like an old school hack and slash RPG, but not like Diablo style. More like Beta Labyrinth, if you remember that game.
So Dungeon Explorer game.
Yeah, it's Dungeon Exploring.
I still have to review
Ultima, I should say.
I still have to review Epic Dungeon, which I think is the best dungeon game out of that. It does dungeon games really well on the indie.
Yeah, there are a lot of good stuff on the indie market. It's just a matter of finding it, like we've been saying.
Right. And like, how does Microsoft? How do they give us the tools to find those games that are, I mean, the rating system is kind of fucked.
Yeah, you were. I'm sure you were listening in on that whole predicament, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a word on that? Because there were a lot more developers that got more affected than other people. But did you have any word on that?
Right. Well, I think Microsoft did the right thing, and they kind of they suppressed the issue as quickly as they really could, before it control. But because it's such a young market, it's susceptible to certain issues like that. There are certain loopholes that people can get around, and it's just good that they're proactive enough to kind of stop these things in their tracks.
Yeah, because I've said this before, but I feel like Microsoft is the home for indie games right now, and they should keep it that way. That would be for their best interest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, by offering new features like being able to set your release date, and by kind of crushing those issues before they really piss people off, they're doing the right thing.
Indeed. So do you have anything else you want to talk about the development, right?
Yeah, I could go over a little bit. Actually, we just recently won an award for TIC, so I'd like to go over that as well.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so go for it. Go ahead and let loose on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So recently we were just featured in RPI's Game Fest. That's Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. We won first place and Audience Choice Award. And this was an event sponsored by Vicarious Visions. I don't know if you guys are familiar. They do Guitar Hero.
Yes.
Marvel, Alliance. So they were a big player here. They sponsored the event along with Agora Games. And, we won first place and Audience Choice Award. It was great. It was a huge event huge relatively. It was like 200-plus people. And it featured Keynote, Brian Reynolds from Zynga. So that was a great little chance for us to get some spotlight on TIC.
No doubt. And you're planning on releasing this soon, right?
We are. Yeah, actually, we were just in the peer review process. We got bounced for a code 4 error, so we have to wait a week before we can resubmit. But we're confident that now we've squashed all those bugs, and we should be on the market by the end of the month. All
right. So you want to keep talking about the development then, right?
Yeah. So, like I said before, we have 10 people on the team, all pretty specialized, from 3D character animators to concept artists. I funded this whole project out of my own pocket, and we focus on our core technology, our Jawbreaker engine. Eventually, we'd like to open up to other developers to use. I think it would enable the community as a whole to produce higher quality stuff, without having to start from ground one. Like we said, it's always been a problem.
Yes.
And I created the story as part of an animation I did a long time ago for an animation class, and it was kind of an interesting animation that I adapted it to story, and out of the story came the gameplay. which is, just kind of simplistic, fast-paced action-adventure platforming stuff that, people love on indie, and we think it's a really fun pick-up-and-play experience that you can get into very quickly and have a lot of fun with.
Were there any inspirations of games recently that have really gave into TIC?
Recently, not so much, other than maybe that Rayman game. But that's kind of like post-inspiration. We saw that and we're like, wow, that looks like TIC. I think Machinarium's definitely, in terms of art and feel, I think that's a great example of something that really inspired us.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And I mean, I always pull this up just because I love the game so much. But I mean, the fact that you're going so different with the art style just makes me think of Limbo again.
Yeah, absolutely. Limbo too. And yeah, Limbo is another thing. Is we got into the development of TIC, and then Limbo came out, and we're like, wow,
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do.
Yeah. So I mean, the Limbo is such an easy pick up and play game. I can get anyone to come on over and play the game, and they'll get hooked right away because it's simple. Like, it's fun to look at and it's simple. So it sounds like you guys are going with that direction in mind.
Yeah, we're running with that kind of formula that we're, someone can just get into it really easily. It's really fun to pick up and play at any point in the game, and it's not like when you get back into it, there's a huge learning curve, and it's just I mean, we definitely scaled it. We do a good job of ramping the difficulty. I think our indie gamers really appreciate a challenging experience. So we start them off easy, and then we ramp it up really quickly,
Yes. And was there any sort of, like, you guys are making the finishing touches on this. Was there anything, like, I guess, because, was there anything else you want to add into the game that you couldn't, like, essentially, like, that was just impossible? Or have you guys pretty much seen your vision in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. We really were able to kind of put everything into part one that we wanted to. We originally we wanted this to be next kind of arcade game, but we figured, we tested on Xbox Live Indie, see how it does there. So there were more levels planned, but ultimately that's why we decided to go with the episodic model and break it down into parts. So we could.
Was there a sort of time expectancy that we can? I brought this up before, but is there any sort of time that we can expect part 2 in?
Yeah, I think with what we have now, you could expect to see it within 4 to 5 months.
All right. So where did we leave off?
We just ended with how long you could expect.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So that's cool then. Was there? You said you were in a good relationship with James Silva. Is there anyone else you're kind of familiar with in the indie market?
Yeah. So actually, the guys Backcountry, also local studio based in Albany, and those are guys from Vicarious Visions. Vicarious Visions recently let off 50 employees as a result of kind of axing the Guitar Hero series.
Yeah.
You guys are so these guys, they went out and they kind of set up their own show, and they just released the game to Xbox Live Indie Games, and they're focusing more on like puzzling games. One of Art Blocks is their latest, like 3D Tetris. So we're pretty close with those guys, and the indie development community as a whole is very supportive. You get on the forums, and everybody's to play test your game or help you through peer review, and it's a great community.
Yeah. So it sounds like you got. How long have you been actually looking at the markets? And you seem to have a pretty good vision on everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I started researching the market probably close to a year ago, before I'd really decided that this is where we were going to release TIC. I mean, just talking about like PSN and every other distribution channel before. It just, Xbox really allows you to get there fast, which is really important to us. So, I mean, we do have plans we're looking at Steam,
Yeah, Steam would probably be the natural transition to go there, because I assume that it's a lot easier on there then.
Yeah. So Steam is actually pretty open to distributing indie games as well. So they're definitely good possibility for us in the future.
Yeah.
And
sorry, go ahead.
With the advent of other online distribution, like even OnLive, it doesn't hurt to talk to those guys and see what they want to do.
No doubt. And I'm sorry to be all over the place in these questions. Are the people at RedCandy, are these all like mutual friends that just decided to get together and make a game, or have you scoped them out, or what was this?
So basically, I found everybody. I did scope them out. Some of them were friends that I knew previously, but I couldn't find all the talent through friends. So luckily, social media allowed me to seek out some good talent and post some ads on Craigslist, and that's kind of how we founded the team and built the team from there. That's
really awesome. All right, so I guess since I'm the one asking here, did Vain, Jeff, did you guys have any questions, or what was that?
No, you pretty much actually covered anything I was thinking of.
Yeah, Sam.
All right, so I guess, was there anything else you wanted to elaborate on then?
No, I think we definitely touched on everything, and if anybody's interested in the game, feel free to contact us directly. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or RedCandyGames.com.
Indeed. So we'll definitely have a review of that when that comes out. Hopefully we'll get that a little bit spotlight. And I'd love to have you on again if you want to have a talk, since we can actually talk about the actual game mechanics and how we all played it.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk to you guys then.
All right. So was there any last minute things that we want to add in your vein?
Nothing that I can think of.
All right. For the site next week, it's probably going to be me and Vain only, because I had a complete andTIC in the house, so I had to postpone pretty much a lot of things I wanted to do. And we'll probably have more stuff up, I'm assuming, right, Vain?
Yeah, tons.
We both had a dual article that we were going to write up, hopefully, and put that out as a big feature. So we'll see how that goes. And I guess let's throw out final plugs here. You want to throw out you guys' both Twitter?
What's that?
What's your Twitter handle?
Pound RedCandy Games.
All right. And ReviewGuru, Jeff?
At ReviewGuru on Twitter.
All right. And you can find Vain Ziler at Vain Ziler. It's all straightforward here, except for me. You can find me at Adrian XHD. One thing I wanted to bring up was that we are looking to expand the site a bit, since it's summertime now. We can focus a little bit more on the website. So we're looking to expand here. If you guys are interested in writing up anything, go ahead and feel free to contact me. There's a contact form on the site under the contact button, so feel free to throw that out there. I'll be posting again with the YouTube link. You can comment it. You can send me an email. Whatever suggestions, anything you guys have, you know where to find me. And that's about it, I guess. The email is palutenasarmy@gmail.com. The ending song this week. Who here is a fan of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3?
I've played it before.
I played a little bit.
I was expecting so much more out of that. So I love that game. That game is iconic, since that is the game I got with my Xbox the day I got that, along with Halo 1. And I love the soundtrack of that game. And one song that I like a lot is the Alien Ant Farm song "Wish," which is different from their album version. So I'll go.
I I remember when I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, that was my favorite song as well.
Yeah, that was a really good song. The whole album. I'm probably gonna throw up a lot of the songs here during the duration of the podcast that we have.
The only thing I can remember about that game is the soundtrack. It was amazing.
The soundtrack was really good. The one thing I remember is the fact that you could make endless combos. I would literally, like, no joke, I sound like I'm exaggerating, but I would make combos for like half an hour. I would just be skating around this one certain area and just keep, like, you would do the special tricks, which would like, you could do the Dark Jedi trick, which you would be flipping all over your skateboard. I would just do that for half an hour. But no, the soundtrack is great. So, Wish by the Alien Ant Farm, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 version, is going to be at the end of this. And that's about it. So, thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you guys all later.
Peace.
Peace.
Proudest to hear it, proudest to watch us for,